We are live. Super Bowl 60 preview. Seahawks, Patriots will be played in Santa Clara on Sunday, February 8th, 2026. Now, there is a lot to break down within this stream because there is, we have to talk about the game. We have to talk about keys to win. We have to talk about, what could be potential pitfalls. The biggest thing that I will emphasize here is before we start, I'm not going to drag it out and have it be a 60-minute, actually on the 13th play of the game that this could happen and then this could lead to this. We're going to talk about, 5 to 6 keys for each team, and then we're going to talk about potential pitfalls. So look, the Super Bowl is here, the biggest game of the year, and I do want to say, before we start, I want to specifically shout out my guy, Mallow. He's my guy, my graphics guy. The graphic for this week specifically, they've been awesome all year, but the Super Bowl logo on there, you see the, Super Bowl 60 on NBC, the Seahawks team color below their logo, the Patriots team color below their logo. Awesome. And just a incredible super chat to start from H. Brazzy, he's a longtime supporter of the channel. He is not a Jalen Hurts fan. He just starts it off by saying Jalen Hurts is ass. Anyway, we're just going to dive right in. So, not dive right in. I have one thing to say. Today's stream is sponsored by Turf Sports. You can download the Turf Sports app and add me as a friend for a chance to win an autographed jersey. I will be giving away an autographed jersey. And also with Turf, when you download Turf, completely free to play, you can win up to $2,500 during the Super Bowl. So I will post the link for that, and you can, it'll also be the pinned comment after the stream, but you can download that, chance to win $2,500 during the Super Bowl, completely free to play. So just download the app and then add me as a friend. So let's go ahead and dive right in because there is a lot to discuss for this, with this game. And the one thing that I will say is for the New England Patriots, I can't say I like this matchup. There's a lot going against them. The biggest thing that I worry about for the Patriots within this game is if they start out the way they did against the Chargers, against the Texans, against the Broncos in the AFC Championship game, and we have the Seahawks come out and play the way they did against the 49ers, this could very easily look like the Super Bowl that we saw the Seahawks play against the Broncos 12 years ago. And that is my absolute biggest fear for the Patriots because, look, I like Drake May a lot. I would be pretty surprised at some point if he is not an MVP winner at some point in his career based on the jump that we saw from year 1 to year 2. And given the fact that, he finished second in MVP voting this year, was quite literally 2 votes away from winning the MVP, 1 vote away from tying. But the Drake May that we've seen in the postseason so far has not been the Drake May that we've seen or that we saw throughout the 2025 regular season. And that is, I feel like that has to be addressed, especially considering that this is, we are playing, we're talking about the 2025 Seattle Seahawks defense. That's tough to go up against and hope that this is going to, that everything's going to work out. So that's going to be the biggest thing. And also within this, I really worry about the Patriots offensive line. I worry about Will Campbell going up against the pass rush. I worry about Garrett Bradbury against both Byron Murphy and Leonard Williams. And the biggest thing for the Patriots within this game that they are going to have to be able to do is to establish the run. Because a run game is any quarterback's best friend, not just a second-year quarterback. It would also be Sam Darnold's best friend. But I really do worry about the Patriots offensive line being able to hold up in this game. And if you are a Patriots fan, please feel free to comment. Please feel free to tell me I'm an idiot. There's no way that, the Seahawks run over the Patriots. I really worry about the Patriots offensive line and ultimately their offense keeping up with the Seahawks, considering when you look at how good the Seahawks defense has been over the past couple of months. Now, specifically since November 30th, if you want to go the month of December, whichever, you can go either. They shut out the Vikings on December 30th. That was against Max Brosmer. So if you want to go December 7th on, the Seahawks, not including both Rams games, have allowed 9 points, 16 points, 10 points, 3 points, and 6 points. The most they allowed was 16 points to the Phillip Rivers-led Colts. I really worry about the Patriots' offensive line being able to hold up and them being able to score points against this defense. Now, what I will say sorry about that. What I will say about the Patriots is one thing that I think heading into this game that is, it's been a little underrated or underappreciated the whole year by the national media is how good the Patriots defense is, because I feel like the 2025 Patriots are summarized by either, the Drake May, or Mike Vrabel. And I feel like there is no just talking about how good the defense has been throughout the season. I mean, they're fourth in points per game. They averaged less than 19 points per game allowed this year. They are a really good defense. And in the 3 games they've played so far in the postseason, they've allowed a combined 26 points. There's going to be nitpickers everywhere, but you can say, oh, well, they played Justin Herbert. Okay, they still allowed 3 points. They played the CJ Stroud-led Texans. They still forced 5 turnovers and only allowed 16 points. And they played Jarrett Stidham. You can only play who's in front of you. And when you allow 26 points total in the first 3 games of the playoffs, that's a problem. So I do want to acknowledge that. And one of the Patriots' keys to win that I have for New England is they need Milton Williams and the defensive line, Christian Barmore, Harold Landry, Caleb Von Chason. They need those guys to take over. They need Robert Spillane, who, by the way, has been incredible all year, especially in the run game. They need him to step up and have one of the best games of his career. Because if this team gets down 14 points early, and Mike McDonald's defense can pin their ears back and get after Drake May, I worry. Now, within the New England Patriots and how good their defense has played, one thing that I feel like has kind of also been, it's been brought up, but I feel like it's not kind of talked about as probably as much as it should be. Drake May in the AFC Championship game was 10 for 21 for 86 yards, completed 47.6% of his passes. One of the keys to victory for this game for the Patriots, undoubtedly, is Drake May's legs. He is going to have to be able to extend the play because the coverages that Mike McDonald is going to throw at Drake May, it's going to be a lot. And I really, really worry about, a second-year quarterback in the biggest game of his life against a coach who is one of the best defensive minds we have in today's NFL, if not the best. You want to say the best, go for it. I really worry about the Patriots offense being able to keep up. Quickly, if you guys are enjoying, please like the stream. Please tell me how you feel. And it's good, it's an enjoyable Friday, so appreciate everybody being here. And like I said, if you are enjoying, please like the stream, helps tremendously. Also sign up for Turf Sports as well. Now, what I also have for the Patriots, like I said, establish the run. That's going to be the big one, that you have to establish the run and try to continue to establish the run. I also, not sure if I mentioned this, but I do worry against Will Campbell, considering that he has struggled against opposing pass rushes in January. And I think there's a part of the media that wants to throw Will Campbell kind of underneath the bus and basically talk about how the arm length was, how he should be a guard and how they should have never taken him as a tackle and all of that. And I did mention that during the draft grades video that was released last week about his arm length. But you also have to, if you're going to mention that, at least be fair and acknowledge that he's coming off of injury. So, how close to 100% is Will Campbell? That is something that has to be noted. Not just the fact that he hasn't played well, specifically against Danielle Hunter and Will Anderson, but the fact that he may not be 100% quite yet. But Will Campbell against this pass rush and against this defense, definitely a concern entering Super Bowl 60. Now, another thing here is the Patriots, a key to victory for them, they got to get the ball out quick. However you are going to accomplish that goal, you have to be able to get the ball out quick against this defense. And if you can take 5 or 6 yards in front of you, take it. Don't wait for 15 or 20 or 30 yard plays. 6, 8 yards in front of you, take what's in front of you. But heading into this game, guys, I do not have a lot of confidence in the Patriots offense. I will say that if the game is lower scoring, the over-under is right around 45 points. You can't really see it on the graphic, but it is, If I make the graphic a little, oh nope, that's me getting bigger. If you see the graphic right here, you can, let me move this up a little bit. It's right around 45. If this game is under 40 total points, then that only to me is an advantage to the New England Patriots. But when you look at the Patriots depth chart, when you look at the guys they have on their roster, where do they, like if you go, quarterback to quarterback, running back, receiver, like across, the board, where do they outrank the Seahawks? And one thing that I will say, W graphic, there's the man that created the graphic. That is Mallow. Mallow I did give at the beginning. I gave a big hat tip and a lot of compliments on the graphic. Appreciated all season. This one in particular, incredible graphic. But when you go across the board and you look at quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight ends, where do the Patriots win? Where are they definitively better than the Seahawks? And I know you're going to probably say, well, Drake May had a better year than Sam Darnold. And you would be right. Drake May finished second in MVP voting for a reason. However, Drake May is coming off of a game in the AFC Championship game where they put up 10 points against a good defense, certainly not the Seahawks defense, while Sam Darnold is coming off of a game in the NFC Championship in which he had one of the best games of his career. He threw for 346 yards and 3 touchdowns. So, again, I'm asking the question, where do the Patriots definitively say, hey, we are the better team at this position? And that is what I worry about entering Sunday. So, how far down on the list do you go? Actually, right guard. Mike Onwenu is better than Anthony Bradford. They have them there. But when you go down the board, how far? And I think that's a fair question. And by the way, the Patriots, like I said, their defense is really good, but the Seahawks defense is also tremendous as well. This is not just, hey, look, we can only put up 13 points and win because our defense will take care of business. You see what I'm saying? Both defenses are, anyway, I kind of actually counterpointed myself there. What I meant to say was, this is not a game you can expect to win 10-7. That's my entire point. So hopefully that clears it up. Anyway. And by the way, the Patriots secondary, I do love. Craig Woodson's been a beast all year. I really loved that pick when it was made. And the Patriots, they were one of 3 teams that this is a fun fact about the Super Bowl. I gave 3 draft grades A+ last year, team draft grades. 2 were playing in Super Bowl 60. Patriots and, well, obviously the Seahawks. Carolina was the other team that I gave an A+ draft grade to. So, who's going to step up? Is Craig Woodson going to step up? Is Travion Henderson going to step up? We'll see. But now, for the Seahawks, for their keys to win, obviously the big one is Sam Darnold plays like he did in the NFC Championship game. Because if Sam Darnold plays like he did in the NFC Championship game, I don't have any doubt that the Seahawks win the Super Bowl. Because that defense, if they have a quarterback go for 346 and 3, you're winning that game, I'd say, probably 99 times out of 100. So that's the number one key. Also, I wrote down this is any big game, but especially in a do-or-die playoff game, you really want to be able to try and establish the run, keep the other team off balance, have a balance between the run and the pass, and especially for Clint Kubiak's offense to be able to run the football, to be able to set up play action, to be able to give the 2025 Offensive Player of the Year, Jackson Smith-Njigba, opportunities across the middle when the linebackers are sucked down in the box because they are forced to defend the run. So that is why one of the reasons you want to establish the run. I also wrote down for the Seahawks, best defensive football. We talked about their dominant stretch entering the Super Bowl outside of the Rams games. And when you go back, since the Seahawks Week 8 bye, they have allowed 14 points, which was the Commanders. And if you guys remember the Commanders game, that was the game that's probably remembered for Sam Darnold going 16 of 16 in the first half. And then, unfortunately, Jaden Daniels hurting his elbow. But the Seahawks won that game 38-14. And they demolished Washington. It wasn't even close. And that was, prior to Jaden getting hurt. He should have never been in that game. Anyway. Then they beat the Cardinals 44-22. There were a lot of Cardinals games this year where Jacoby Brissett was getting his numbers in in the third and fourth quarter when they would be down 15, 20 points. So, for reference, that 44-22 game against the Cardinals, Seattle at half was up 38-7, to give you an idea of how that game played out. So they technically allowed 22 points, but anyway. Then they lost 21-19 to the Rams. That was the 4-interception game from Darnold. They had a really, really weird game against the Titans in which they only won 30-24, but Seahawks fans would also say that, and obviously if you watch the game, you know this, that game wasn't really that close. Like, the final score was 6 points off, but it wasn't that close. Anyway, it wasn't like a true, like, you know, Cam Ward had 3 touchdowns. It came down to the last play, and the Seahawks got a first down. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't like a true 30-24, if that makes sense. Anyway, it was, but it wasn't. They beat the Vikings 26-0. Max Brosmer. I'm not going to talk more about that. They beat the Falcons 37-9. They were tied 6-6 at half. Seattle outscores them 31-3 in the second half. That's what they do. They pounce. They beat the Colts 18-16. That was a play with fire type game, but that's the most points a team has scored on them since the month of December started. That was not quarterbacked by the 2025 league MVP. So I really worry about the Patriots offense being able to score on the Seahawks defense. Now, Nicky Manwari, low ankle sprain is what they said, or a low ankle injury. There was the viral video of Nicky Manwari like limping, and then the next day somebody tweeted out a video. Here's a video of Nicky Manwari like 10 minutes ago, and he was walking fine. That was like, you know, Wednesday, Thursday, a couple of days before the Super Bowl. I'm not a doctor. I don't claim to be a doctor, but I would like to think that if he was walking fine 3 days before the Super Bowl, and also they're probably going to say like, hey, Nick, here's, you know, some happy juice, if you will, or not happy juice, but here's a happy pill, something, you know, whatever. He's going to play. He'll be fine. I don't think we're going to have to worry about Nicky Manwari showing up in the injury report the week of the Super Bowl. And also with Sam Darnold's oblique injury, 346 and 3 touchdowns against the Rams in the NFC Championship game. I'm not really worried about that. So now we talk about, I'm actually going to put a poll up here, by the way. I actually forgot about this. Let me go ahead and put the poll up. That was bad management by myself, so, you know, I got to be better with that. So in terms of the actual poll, in terms of who is going to win this game, I'm going to go ahead and post the poll here. The one thing that I do want to say is I think Seattle has the better roster, but I also think you would be idiotic to say, hey, or confidently before the game that the Patriots are going to, like the Mike McDonald defense is going to absolutely suffocate the Patriots. They're not going to have a chance, and the Seahawks are going to absolutely kill New England. I think Mike Vrabel is one of the best coaches in the NFL, and I don't think that about, or I don't think that they're going to like roll over. I don't think it's going to be, hey, you know, the Seahawks are just that dominant. The Patriots are just lucky to be there. I think that there's kind of a painting of a picture like that, but again, they had a top 4 scoring defense and a quarterback who finished second in MVP voting. I do want all of that to be like well established within this team preview. So now we go to who I think is going to win the game. I was live earlier this week with 5 Points Vids and Urinating Tree. They had me on Tuesday, and I said Seattle 24-14. That was a couple days ago. Still going to roll with Seattle to win, but I do like Seattle to win 24-17, generally in that area. So that is where I think this is going to, you know, I think it's 24-17 Seattle. I think it will be a close game all throughout. And I think there's going to be, there's going to be a play, there's going to be I feel like there's going to be a turnover inside the opposing 30-yard line that is going to be the deciding factor. This is going to be a very fun game. And if you are, you know, you're watching, I'd like you to comment what your favorite Super Bowl of all time is. Like that you've watched live. My personal favorite, I like Steelers Cardinals. That was That was back and forth. The James Harrison pick six before the half, the Larry Fitzgerald touchdown. That was incredible. Larry Fitzgerald, congratulations on being a first ballot Hall of Fame inductee, as he should be. And then, obviously, the Santonio Holmes catch. Santonio was Super Bowl MVP. That is personally my like favorite Super Bowl, or the best Super Bowl that I think. But that was just an incredible game. All right, now there are a lot of super chats, so we are going to get to those. By the way, if you guys are enjoying, please like the stream. We are at 55 likes, so let's get up to at least 67, at least 67. So, by the way, Jaden Batista is going to the game. He did comment that a couple of weeks ago. So Jaden, have an awesome time. I mean, to be able to go to the game, you get to see the Seahawks Patriots Super Bowl. You get to see Bad Bunny perform at halftime. Awesome. Really happy for you. I mean, going to a Super Bowl, I'm not going to lie, guys, selfishly, like, Super Bowl Media Week, that's a bucket list goal for myself. We'll see if it happens, but that's definitely a bucket list. Super Bowl 49 was also, so my favorites, I love the Steelers Cardinals. Let me go in order. Then it went Colts Saints, Steelers Packers, Giants Patriots Part 2. Obviously the 17-0 or the Giants to beat the Patriots the first time was awesome. Steelers Cardinals is my favorite. Seahawks Patriots is also right up there. Incredible, man. We had a span where it was Giants Patriots the first one, and then Steelers Cardinals, Saints Colts, and then Packers Steelers. There was like a 10-year run where it was awesome. Now, the one thing that I will say, by the way, that worries me about the Seahawks that I actually haven't seen brought up at all is I worry about the Seahawks playing the way they did against the 49ers and the way they did against the Rams, similar to how the Panthers played in 2015, because Greg Olsen has talked about this, where Greg Olsen has said, hey, about the 2015 Panthers, that they beat the brakes off the Cardinals in the NFC Championship game. I mean, it was bad. It was a highlight reel of highlight reel games. I worry about if the Seahawks peaked too early. But I think there's a bit of a difference between Mike McDonald coaching the Seahawks and Clint Kubiak being the OC versus, Ron Rivera and Sam Darnold throwing to Jackson Smith-Njigba versus Cam Newton throwing to, Ted Ginn and Jericho Cotchery and even Greg Olsen. I think there's a little bit of a difference. I mean, a lot of a difference, but that is one thing that I think should at least be brought up. So, all right. A lot of super chats, guys. Appreciate it. H. Brazzy says, I'm so dedicated to Hurt slander, it's not even funny. I'm playing Pokemon with my son, saw your notification, and just had to remind the chat, Hurts is dog shit at football. I have no choice but to respect the path of just you're upfront about it. I can't say I agree with the sentiment, but I respect how passionate you are about that. Calvin, Seahawks fan, good luck, go Hawks. Oh, can't wait for Sunday. I have my Hawks winning 24-17. Great minds think alike, Calvin. I predict a defensive battle. Agree. But ultimately trust Seahawks offense to get the W. Agree. Bryce, appreciate it, says, had a small PTSD flashback once as soon as the Hawks won last week. K9 should feast. Hopefully the ghosts don't come back for Darnold. I hope so too, Bryce. Appreciate you being a member. Speedy says, Darnold has played the Niners and Rams, who are lackluster in comparison to the Pats, and Darnold struggled late in the season. Folks are sleeping. I would say I'm definitely sleeping I would say I'm sleeping a little bit, but I still think that the Seahawks are going to come out on top. So that is where I still think the Seahawks are going to come out on top. All right. There were real life people calling Hurts a top 5 quarterback. I like how we're talking Seahawks Patriots, and I know I did read a super chat about Jalen Hurts, but it's just funny. Jalen Hurts dominates conversations, like just the topic of Jalen Hurts. Tristan says, why are the Vikings so cursed? We had Sam Darnold. So it's unfortunate. It's going to be an interesting offseason in Minnesota, though. Very interesting offseason in the Twin Cities. But no, I think that is that we got all the points across. Patriots established the run. Guys, Drake May's legs are going to be like critical in this game. Very, very critical. Because, if they flush him out one side, I mean, Drake May he is so fast. Like he is, I mean, he once, I mean, if a quarterback hits a lane, they can pick up 20 yards at the snap of a finger. That Drake May's legs, I wouldn't be surprised at all if he rushes for 50 or 60 yards in this game, especially with how good Seattle's pass rushers are going to force him out of the pocket. I would not be surprised at all if Drake rushes for 50 or 60 yards. Pats fan here says, YT Premium, appreciate it. Folks are 100% sleeping on the Pats. I mean, I think Seattle's going to win, but I do think that people are people think that it's already over, that the Patriots don't stand a chance. I would agree with you in that sense, but I do think the Seahawks are going to win. Jake Kostler says, dread it, run from it, destiny still arrives. Kostler is a Pats fan. He is, he has Drake May as his quarterback, Mike Vrabel as his head coach, year 2 already playing in a Super Bowl. Future's bright. With or without this game, future's bright. But we'll see. And I will say this, I feel like this should be brought up, where the Patriots are, like, they have just had so many things go their way, like over the course of their franchise, that if they win this game and it's another like Malcolm Butler type play, that would be fitting. Kelly, thank you for bringing this up, because I knew I was forgetting one thing. There it is. Do you think the Pats even kicked a Rashid Shaheed? I feel like Mike Vrabel will at least once. I feel like Vrabel is. I don't think he's going to play the afraid game. Rashid Shaheed is obviously an extremely. He's a game-changing player, and I think they'll kick to him. I don't think Mike Vrabel will openly say, "Hey, like, I'm afraid of Rashid, guys. Like, I can't kick to him." I think they'll kick to him at least once. But Rashid Shaheed is a game-changing player, and I think if there's going to be a 30-plus yard play, like 30-plus yard passing play for Seattle, that it'll go to Rashid Shaheed. And also on the Patriots side, I really hope that Stephon Diggs has a good game. Really happy for Diggsy to get to the Super Bowl. But Demario Douglas, in terms of X factors for each team, to me it's Rashid Shaheed and I know I said Demario Douglas, sorry, I meant Kayshon Boutte. Those to me are the X factors for each side. There, and Calvin, that's hilarious anyway, Rashid Shaheed and Kayshon Boutte to me are the X factors in each for each side. I also think that Kenneth Walker scores. I think that Seattle is going to, like, they're going to get inside the 5-yard line. They're basically going to say, "Hey, we are 1,000,000% not doing what happened, back in Super Bowl 49." So I think that I do think that I like Kenneth Walker to score. I know there's a lot of like Super Bowl props, heads or tails, the coin toss. What is going to be, is there going to be a touchback? Is there going to be, what color is going to be the Gatorade? All of those props and everything. I like Kenneth Walker to score. The one other thing that worries me about the Patriots, Drake May has been sacked 15 times in the postseason. That's not going to cut it against this team. You are, I would say there's a less than 5% chance of winning this game if Drake May gets sacked 5 times. So that's where I do worry. Good call on that. Listen well. That is where I do worry. So, but Seattle, if their defense gets out, special teams gets out, sets the tone early, could be a very long day. I do think that if there's going to be a blowout, I think that Seattle would be the team blowing the Patriots out. I don't think the Patriots would win in a blowout. And when you look at the Patriots Super Bowl wins, the first 2 were kicks at the end from Vinatieri, who also just got in the Hall. Congrats to Adam Vinatieri. They had the win over the Eagles. That was a close. I mean, they're all close. Like, the Patriots obviously are, a tremendous team and have been for my entire life. I don't think they don't win blowout Super Bowls. all of them are close. If the Patriots win, it's going to be 2017, somewhere in there. But my prediction is 24-17 Seattle. And if the Patriots do come out on top, I'm going to go 2017 New England. Adam Freeman, appreciate it, says, which team do you think will hire Jim Schwartz? Jim Schwartz, from what I know, he just stepped away. Like, is that... my interpretation was, like, he's stepping away for good. Maybe he's not. He resigned... So he resigns with the expectation he won't coach in 2026. That is per Yahoo Sports. Yeah, that was my interpretation. He's not going to coach this year. So, maybe next year? I have no idea. Maybe Philly at some point. Maybe he replaces Vic Fangio, who's been talking about retiring. Maybe at some point in 2027. We'll see. But, no, I encourage you to... And by the way, Calvin, I think it's really cool that you're dedicating this season to your younger brother. And, obviously, thoughts are always with you, man. But I encourage you to comment below your favorite Super Bowl ever, your Super Bowl prediction, and maybe a hot take as well. So that is going to wrap up the stream, though. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and that will wrap up the Super Bowl 60 stream or preview rather. So also within this, I will have a comment after, but you can download the Turf app, add me as a friend for a chance to win an autographed jersey. It's completely free to play, and you can also win up to $2,500 during the Super Bowl. Completely free to play, so download the Turf app, and there's the link in the pinned comment. It will be in the pinned comment after the stream. So hopefully you guys enjoyed, and as always, until next time, very happy for you, Gung-Ho, very happy for you. Until next time, as always, please be safe and have a great day. Super Bowl 60 is here. What a time to be alive. Love you guys.